Holy cow! Welcome to Donnie's Hangout Adventures, and it's a beautiful May afternoon on a Saturday, of course. And well, I've got a special video planned for today. I did a post on Facebook and YouTube. You can do random posts on YouTube. Do keep an eye on that because sometimes, time to time, they only stay up for a few hours. I will do a post on YouTube to let people know what I'm up to. And I did a post on there. I said video today. I did that yesterday. Now listen. I want to get the monkey, or the elephant, not the monkey, the elephant out of the room first. If you are one of those left-wing people and you're offended by my hat, well, I don't know what to tell you. I really, really don't. Now, do I think he's a good president? Yeah. Do I think he's a flawed human being? Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Do I agree with everything that Trump has done? No, I don't. But you know what? That's not the purpose of this video. If you follow my YouTube channel, as I have done in the past, I like to do outdoor videos. And today, I have one planned. And it's hard to find stuff to do here in Ottumwa, but you can do it. You have to think outside the box. And I have a very special video planned for today. And it will be pretty much given away in the title when I title this video anyway. So you know what I'm going to be doing today? Looking at classic cars. This event is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger with each passing year. I think it's like the third or fourth year that they've done it. The first one they did was in July. The last two, this will be three, that were done in May. So, and yeah, it's a little humid out here. There's a little bit of a breeze, but overall, not too bad for a May. And I do have a new phone, and I'm hoping, I don't like to do videos completely unedited with one great big long shot, but I'm pretty sure I can edit my video to clump all the clips together. I'm hoping, because if not, I will have done this video for absolutely nothing. And then again, maybe not, because it is a nice, May day. So you know what? We're going to get ready to look at the classic cars, and that's always fun. I'm more towards the classics. I'm not more towards the newer vehicles. If you have followed my classic car videos on YouTube in the past, I'm more about the classics. And I don't want to ramble on forever because I want to get started and I want to start looking at the classics. There is music playing in the background. It's one thing that annoys me about YouTube is they probably will flag me for copyright infringement. But be that as it may, let's go ahead and get started. There's a lot of cars here. May not be able to cover them all, but we're sure going to try. Just the classics. Oh, wow. 53. Yep, 53 Plymouth. And I got a selfie stick. I finally got another one. A&W. Wow. Yeah, he looks tired from the road trip. Wow. Hey, there's a mouse in the window. Wow. Nice. Look at the chrome. Look at the pipe. Tailpipe. Aww. One died. It's sad. They had a picture of him when he was in the army. Pretty cool. Anyway, moving on to the next one. And 1956 Buick. Wow. Nice. '48 Plymouth. I always like the mirrors. There's no mirror in it. Interesting. Quite hard to find those type of mirrors. It's funny look at the speedometers on these. 100 miles an hour. It's funny looking at them. There's where gas tank is. There's the hood. These I always remember in mobster movies for some reason. I don't know. I think of Dick Tracy when I think of this, or Godfather, or something like that. But I think of, you know, mafia movies when I see one of those. It's either a Model A or Model T. I'm not sure which. They don't have a sticker up for it. Oh, this is nice. You could sit in the back. Probably be pretty uncomfortable, but you can. Nice. Love the headlights. Yeah, here's a truck, you know. I don't know how to use the one button on there that goes back to me. I have to put it on pause. So, anyway, 68. That's an interesting place for a mirror. Wow. Flatbed. And I try not to film any kids around me. So if I accidentally do, I apologize for that. 77 Chevy. Yep, these were boats and gas guzzlers. They wouldn't work well in today's society because they would eat up a lot of gas. 78 Chevy. Somewhat of a classic. Somewhat of a classic. 65 Ford. Oh, nice. I consider this a classic. I love these mirrors. I'd always went like that. Wow. I like it when they don't restore it and you can still see the rust. Oh, cooler. Wow, cherry red. That is gorgeous. Really gorgeous. 1940 Ford. Wow, that is absolutely stunning. Wow, even red seats. Wow. That is stunning. Four on the floor. Well, I love the speakers. I bet this would throw out some bass. Ooh, nice. Love the windshield. Ooh, even a red mirror. Wow, look at the motor. Ooh. That's a newer one. GMC.
Kids were killed in 17.
Yeah, 85. Please don't touch. Oh, I don't. 64 Chevy Impala. Wow.
Haven't seen him.
Vehicle safety inspection. Love the flag. 69 Chevy Chevelle. 427 engine. That's what's going to say 420. Wow. That's a funny spot for a speedometer. Ooh, Firebird, 75. Ooh, red. I don't know why. Red just looks so good on old cars. It always seems does. That or black. But I think red makes it look really nice. Wow, look at the mirror. Wow. Nice. Ooh, very red. Look at the tail lights.
Hey, Jay, when you get that, come over here.
Wow. Hey, Dougie. A little bitty doggy. Wow. I don't know what year this is, but it's pretty old. Keep on trucking. I like that. Unfortunately, I have to film the newer vehicles. Like I said, I don't know how the camera works on my phone exactly yet. I'm still working on it. So, you know, I'll film everything pretty much, it looks like. I'm restoring this, which is a 54 Chevy. Wow. Wow. Wish they had the windows down, but that's remember of Carl Stacy. Nice. Okay, let's see. 33 Chevy. Wow.
I'll give you two examples, like just.
Oh, Cherry Red Chevy 33. Wow. Wow. That is nice.
Where the car was bought.
Here's a Nova. Yep, here's a Nova. 1970. Wow. But the old cooler. Yeah, it's not the new cooler. The newer car here, so I'm moving away from it. Okay. 67 Chevy Camaro. Oh yeah. Black looks good on a Chevy Camaro. For some reason it really does. Wow. Oh, yeah, there's one more over here. That's there's the car.
That is super cool.
Wow. 58 Ford. Yeah, I heard them over talking that this vehicle had to be restored because it was gone for about 34 years. They had to restore it. So that's pretty cool. And it takes a lot of time restoring these old vehicles like this. And this is really, really, really well done. You have to know what you're doing. And it's really, really nice. It's a 58 Ford T-Bird. Yep, T-Bird. Random motorcycle. Alright, let's go over here and look at these vehicles. Well, there's a Honda. Yeah, you gotta give the motorcycle some love. You know, there's a Honda. This is, you know, it's a newer one. But that's pretty cool. I think I've seen this around town, it seems like. And there's a Harley. Yep, there's a Harley. I don't make myself look like an idiot, but my uncle was big into Harleys, and that was his choice of motorcycle. And you gotta give the motorcycles their love. They're considered classics. I saw this walking in, and this is pretty cool. A monster car. And look, our car died over here. You were pushing it. So much for the car saying I'm fast. That's why the classics are the best. Anyway. '41 Ford. Nice. Sometimes I wish I would put the windows down. Instead, I get my reflection. but that's really, really nice vehicle. Somewhat of a classic, 81 Ford. Somewhat of a classic. Somewhat. I like the dice though. This vehicle's not for sale. What a bummer. '50 Ford. There was a kid up here. I was trying not to film. I'm very careful about that. Ooh, I like that. Support our troops. I like that. Huh. Rich City Slam 5. Well, let's take a look at this one. This is a 1970 Dodge Challenger. You know what? Dukes come into mind with this. Not the same year, about 79 is what they used around that area. But this is pretty close to a type of car that sits in the Dukes of Hazzard. Pretty close to when they for the Dukes. Roadrunner. How'd you get here from Arizona? Long trip. 69 Plymouth. Roadrunner. 1957 Ford two-door ranch wagon. The original station wagons. The original ones. They use these for a lot of road trips. Back in the day, back in the 50s. Look at the old Coke bottles. '56 T-Bird. Yeah, nice. Look at the engine. I like how the hood comes up backwards. Year I was born, '76 Chevy Corvette. Wow. Yeah, I like how the lights, you know, come up on those. Those are pretty cool. I didn't realize how big the tires are on these suckers. Pretty big. Seats 2 people and that's it. No more. Life's too short to drive boring cars. Like that. Peace. I didn't realize they had 4 lights on the end. That's pretty interesting. 67 Chevy. Yeah, I can't say the word Malibu. I like how they didn't fully restore it. You see the paint starting to chip off. I think that's from Drive-In Theater. Yeah, you can see the inside of the door. It's not fully restored. I like that they do that sometimes. Got a couple of newer cars here. We're going to move past that. Oh, almost reminds me of Miami Vice. That does. And look at this.
I remember they got the car show.
44.
Oh,
Small tires
we're out.
and big tires.
Yeah,
Look at the wheel. Steering wheel. I think that would hurt your hands more than anything else. 78 Pontiac Trans Am. You know, about the year that Smokey and the Bandit, about pretty close to that year. You know, yeah, pretty close to this year. You know, of course, the they souped up this one. They really souped it up. So yeah, you know, Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah. Band 1. Yeah, I could see it in this car. And right next to it is KITT. Yep, KITT. Pretty close to the same year. Knight Rider, one of my favorite TV series of all time, up there with the Dukes. You have to use your imagination with this, but this is pretty close to the year. KITT, Knight Rider, and David Hasselhoff, Michael Knight. So yeah, you know, you have to use your imagination, how they had everything totally different inside the car, you know, for KITT and the talking and all that. So yeah, you know, use your imagination a little bit and you can actually see it. 76 Pontiac Trans Am. Yeah, there's this Trans Am and that one. Actually, that one I like more than this one. That's just me and your preferences on color. Let's see. 1985 Chevy Camaro. I thought it was. Yeah, Camaro. I wish they had the engine up, but you know what? Be that as it may. And oh, for a minute I thought that was a real dog. But nope. A fake dog taking a pee. Anyway. Got an air freshener in there. There's another dog over here. But they're not real. 71 Chevelle, heavy Chevelle. And that looks good. Not real, of course. Bye bye, doggies. Let's see. Ooh, this is the oldest one so far. 1923 Ford. It's a Model T. It's been altered, of course. And race car. Wow, that's a big ass tire. Wow.
Yeah, I got rid of that old 2000 Chevy. Took up I had with the LS one.
Wow.
Because they didn't like pulling these hills through here now.
Let's see. Not an LTD. What does that mean? I don't know. 1971 Ford. The big boats.
I went down to Fort Madison and back $80. 7 miles a gallon.
I remember those seat belts when I was a kid. Hey, look at the doggy. I think this is a newer one. I think. No, I think it's older. I wish they had signs on everyone. Look at this one. I was preoccupied looking at this one. Wow. Look how the mirror go out. Wow. Look at the seat covers. That's 42. This one looks like a police car. Well, it used to be a police car. But it looks like to me. Or a state trooper, more like it. I normally don't like the newer ones, but this one's pretty sweet. Yeah, that one's pretty sweet. 2024.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. People look at the car thing and say, don't bring it next to a car thing.
78 Chevy. Papa John's.
Or anything?
Huh?
You got a towel or anything?
I got paper towels down there. I didn't even clean my windshield.
1978 Pontiac. Taxi.
Clean it up.
I don't know. Sort of reminded me of something from Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. Grand Theft Auto 4. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. 58 Ford F100. Wow. Nice. Don't know. Interesting.
I think so.
Look at the doggy. That schnauzer looks like a dog we used to have. Aww. Cute doggy. Cute doggy. Wow. It's nice. Sorry I'm a little preoccupied and I'm a little thirsty. 68 Dodge Charger. Again, this is pretty close, actually more close to the Duke. This car is. Yeah, if you look at it and you paint it purple, that looks, I mean paint orange, not purple, orange. That's pretty close to the Dukes of Hazzard generally. That's more closer, 68, than the other one I seen earlier. So this one's, yeah, you know, you have to use your imagination. That there's more for the generally 68 Dodge Charger. So that's 1960 Rambler. Nice. The seat's red. 75 Lincoln Continental. Yeah, those were gas hogs, guzzlers. Long car. Look at the dice. Wow.
I kept getting calls from Houston. People looking for fences and shit and that because they had bad. There's a huge fencing company.
Take a look at this one. 1967 Pontiac Firebird convertible. It's interesting. 82,000 Firebirds were made and 15,000 were convertible. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Nice. Yep, top goes up. So on nice days, that's really nice. I know I wasn't talking a whole lot, but there's a lot of foot traffic there at towards the end, about the middle part of it when I was going down that section. And there was a lot of foot traffic. And I don't know. I said people talk and look. I like to look more than talk. Maybe I should talk more, but I like to look more than talk because sometimes you can get you can just look at the cars better than you can when you're actually, you know, talking. You know, I like to mesmerize at it, and I gotta take a break. Whew, a lot of cars. Listen to that baby hum. Look at that. Ooh, that's loud. This here I picture more of Christine. Yep, Christine. Especially if it was red. Especially if it was red. Hey, look at the bowler hat. Wow. It doesn't say it here, but you know what? Does it matter? No, not really. It's a classic. No question about that. Very red. I just love red on the classic. It just seems like it's the perfect color. It just seems like it. Now this is an interesting color. Pink. What made him decide to go with pink? That's quite interesting. Ooh, I love the skull. That is cool. On the engine of the skull. That is really cool. Really, really cool. Here we go.
The wheels I weren't planning on doing, but Brad was selling them. And
71 Chevrolet Malibu 350.
Brad told me you were buying them, but you put them on the front, right?
oh yeah. Of course, that was a shit show. They sent me the wrong station.
A lot of people looking at this vehicle, so I'm just gonna film it a little bit.
Oh,
that's
some
nice.
wheels. I got some wheels for sale. You don't need any big stuff? Huh? I got the old wheels. Yeah.
Like that painting inside. Look at all the license plates. I'm really looking at this. Wow. Ooh. Dodge. Ooh, that's pretty. Really, really pretty. Ooh. Nice. There you go. Yep. Corvette. Dougie. 55 Chevy Bel Air. Tell you all about it. Wow, it's nice. Love the dice. I love the fake food they put there. It's pretty cool. I swear there's a dead animal inside the car, but it's kind of looks like it. Seats look comfortable. Pink? Another pink one. That's interesting. Hey, it's for sale at trade, $17,000. Wow. '87 Corvette. That's something more like Miami Vice. Especially the doors, the way they come up. That's pretty cool. Actually, it's got my attention. Especially the way the doors come up. That's more Miami Vice.
I'm like, well, hell yeah. I was like, I was carrying that spare.
Oh, that's cool. '71 Chevy Chevelle. I've seen a lot of Chevy Chevelles here today. I mean, a lot. There has to be at least half a dozen. '68 Ford. Handicap sticker. The lights on this are interesting. Very much so. '73 Camaro. I wish they had the hood up, but be that as it may. Wow. '55 Chevy. And a lot of these in here are newer. This is an '83 Oldsmobile Cutlass. So I'm going to stop recording in this area and probably do some more over there. Ah, Schnauzer. Cute doggy. Chevelle 68. Okay, 74 Chevy Monte. There was a lot of traffic in there and I almost tripped over somebody. So, anyway.
Well done.
See? They're still pulling in. 70 Dodge Challenger. Another one. Not quite the right year for the Dukes, but you know, you can get an idea of what type of car they used for the Dukes. Not quite the year, but pretty close. It's like the third Dodge Challenger I've seen. 69 Ford. Like the flags. I don't know why, but for some reason a picture in my head that's coming to me with this is JFK and the assassination. I don't know why, but this is the car that's popping in my head for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's the image and picture I got in my head. 55 Chevy Bel Air. Christine. Yeah. Especially with the red. Especially with the red. Wow, sweet. Nice. '67 Chrysler, Newport. And of course the classics, the shit houses. This car brings me back to my childhood. Grandma had, I believe it was a '77 Ford wagon like this. And she spent a lot of time driving this, Grandma and Grandpa. I was always way in the back here. Of course, the windows weren't tinted as this one was. But Grandma drove this type of car like this from Ottumwa, Iowa, all the way to Seattle, Washington, and back. And not one problem. And, yep, this is the type of car it was. Yep, and they were gas hogs. Clearly they were. You could fit a lot of people in them. I was always in the back. 71, another Chevy Chevelle. I've seen so many today. I've seen a lot today, actually. And I don't know. They are classics. They are classics, but I've seen so many today that I'm almost tired of seeing the Chevy Chevelle. 65 Chevy. Look at that. Wow.
Go up this way.
Down in.
Going that way. No windows, seats, nothing. This vehicle needs a lot of restoring. It's interesting to see. Yeah, I would say it's a work in progress. It's a lot of work in progress. Maybe someday they can restore it to its former glory. Maybe. 64 Plymouth Barracuda. Nice. 1941 Indian. And wow, you know, you look at the motorcycles now and you look at the motorcycles then. The safety sure has changed for them. This does not look like the safest bike. It's got Look at those petals. The petals are interesting. Doesn't look like it'd be the safest, that's for sure. They've come a long, long way since then. Still dangerous, but they've come a long way since those days. These tunnels scare me endlessly because I'm definitely afraid of snakes. But this is the easier way to get over here by bypassing the highway, which you don't want to fall in the middle of the highway and maybe have a seizure a couple weeks later. And no, I'm not being over dramatic, but be that as it may, I have to watch for snakes that appear in here. It is the safer route. Is it the lesser of two evils? It depends. It really, really depends. Now, there's something else I want to discuss. Listen, I know today when I was doing my video, two things. One, I try not to film kids. I don't know if you heard me say that during the course of the video. I try not to record any type of kids because I don't want nobody to think, I'm a predator, which I'm not. So if kids accidentally appear in my video, I apologize for that. And two, I know there was large points of time that I wasn't talking. The traffic over there was horrible. I had trouble getting around. I had trouble looking at cars. It was just horrendous. Really, really horrendous. Now, I shouldn't be talking loud because look at this. Look at that. Nature at its finest. Look at this. Keep your distance. They won't attack you. They will not attack you if you keep your distance. Isn't that gorgeous? Looky over here. Looky, they're all around. And I'm right in the middle. Right dab in the middle. And you could say I'm going into the eye of the storm. Literally and figuratively. They're tame, mostly. They're starting to scurry off. And I'm going to sit here on this bench for a little while before I call it a day. And wow, look at that. Ain't that gorgeous? Nature at its finest. Wow. You never know. You'll see nature. And there's a baby bird up there. I see it. Baby bird. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I can zoom in. There it is. Baby bird. Oh, wow. He bobbed his head at me. Hi. I know. Hello. How you doing? Oh, bob his head. Oh, he's tweeting at me. Tweety bird. Aw, it's cute. Me and Mom are saying that's all for now.
That's all for now.